Hi, everybody. I am just going over what we went over today in training. I am going to do the Dotloop demo for you. Today we are going over the super basics. So just follow along, and I'll show you what we went over today in training. Again, this is a soft rollout, so I'm only showing you a few features today of your new Dotloop account. I'm going to show you how to set up your account, how to access forms, and how to fill out forms and download them as a PDF so that you can email them. Obviously, there's digital signatures, there's sharing, there's all kinds of things going on with Dotloop, but today that's what we're going over. Okay, so the way that you access your Dotloop account, the one that we upgraded for you, is through MLS. If you've gone to Dotloop.com and created your own account separate from MLS, then this is something you need to let me know. The one that was upgraded for you is the one that was already created for you in MLS. So I'm going to go over that right now. I'm going to show you how to get there. Okay, so we are going to log into MLS. Oh, except when you have that bad news bear sign right there. We're going to log into MLS one more time. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, when you get to your home screen in MLS, the way you're going to access Dotloop is through the quick links menu over here on the side. You'll see Dotloop in that menu. If you do not see the Dotloop in that menu, click on Customize. Find Dotloop in this menu. Make sure the checkbox is checked next to it. Save your changes. Your Dotloop account will always be in the quick links menu after that. Okay. Most important, if you've never done this before, you've never clicked on this link, when you click on it, you are going to be prompted to set up a few default things. One of those things is your password. Make sure you remember that password. You are going to need it to sign documents, and you're going to need it to access Dotloop in other ways. Further on down the road when we get more training. All right, so this is the default main dashboard for Dotloop. So loops are basically transactions. They're folders for your transactions. The first thing that we're going to do is set up your account before we get into all this fun stuff. I want you to go up to the top right, mouse over the guy icon, go to My Account, click on it. And let me just say that if at any point you get stuck with anything and I'm not around, when you mouse over your people icon or your profile icon up at the top right, you get a custom phone number for support here along with an ID. Because we've paid for an upgraded account for you, this is a direct support line with an upgraded support package with this ID number. You'll be prompted to put that in. So if you have questions about anything and I'm not available, that's the next best option right there. They can pretty much solve any problems that you have. So for some of you, you're going to see, after you click on that icon, you're going to see two profiles up here. You'll see your name and Success Real Estate. The one we're going to be using is the one that's associated with your name. Todd doesn't have both in here. I'm not exactly sure why, but some of you may see both. Make sure that you click on the profile that is your name. If you only have one and it says Success Real Estate, that's fine. Click on that, and then under the name section here, change it to your name, and make sure it's the login default. All right, so we're on the settings for your profile. Very next thing I want you to do is add your association. If you've never accessed your account, you won't see MAR in here. So the way that you do that is click on Add Association. By doing this, you're giving yourself access to all the real estate transaction forms. So this is super important. So click on Add Association and begin typing Massachusetts. All right, you don't see it here because it's already added, but you'll see Massachusetts Association of Realtors. Click the box next to it, okay, and click Add. Obviously, I'm not going to add that, but you want to do Massachusetts Association of Realtors, click the box next to it, click Add, and if this is your first time doing it, you're going to be prompted to enter your NERDS ID, your number for National Association of Realtors. That's the key that unlocks all the forms for you. So make sure you have your NAR ID or your NERDS number available. You're going to need that when you add the association. So once you go through that process, you'll see Massachusetts Association of Realtors under Brokerage and Associations, right there. If at this point you're stuck, it's not working, you're putting your NERDS ID in there, and it's not giving you access, make sure you let me know. I will walk you through that process. You can add as much information about yourself as you want. You can add a phone number. You can add company information, whatever you want. We're going to go over sort of the super details in later trainings, but I just want to give you the basics to setting up your account and accessing the forms. The other thing I would do is add a photo of yourself so that if you had more than one profile, say one's success and one is you, the person, you'll be able visually to distinguish between the two. The other thing that I'd like you to do is then click on Settings. I want you to make sure that the email address in the email form is the email address that you use for real estate, the one that you give out to other realtors and to your clients, because that's what you're going to use to sign documents when somebody else invites you to a loop. Make sure your NERDS ID is there. Make sure that email address is correct. If it's not correct, go down to the bottom and click Change Email. It'll bring you back up. Put the email address in there that you give out to everybody as your contact information. Anytime you make a change, be sure to go all the way down to the bottom and hit Save. All right, so those are the basics. By doing all of those things, you'll ensure that you have access to the MAR forms and that when you're invited to sign other people's documents, you'll be doing it by the correct email address. You won't be creating a different account for yourself. As we roll along, that will make more and more sense, but just for presentation purposes, make sure you do that now. All right, once you have set up those two things, you can go back to the main screen by clicking on Dotloop at any time. You can also click on Loops, either or. I am going to show you how to set up a basic loop, add some documents, and fill them out online. We're not going to do sharing or anything like that, but I'm going to show you how to access any document you might need. Fill it out by typing, digitally online so it's neat and tidy, and then we're going to save it and download it as a PDF because you're always going to run into people who do not want to digitally sign things, so you need to know how to do this anyway. All right, so we are going to create a loop. Sort of the naming string that we decided is going to work for both the office and our agents is if you name your loop the street address and the town. Make sure you put the town in there in case there's more than one town that has the same street in it. Now, I already created one, and I'm going to show it to you, but this is where you would name your loop, the street address, and the town. And I apologize, I have a cold. Okay. So, this is the loop I created earlier, 123 Test Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts. You're going to see that there's documents in here already, but I'm going to show you how to add other documents. Okay, so pretend all of this is blank. Let's see if we can get rid of them. All right, well, you know what? We'll just, we're still catching up. I will archive these, so we'll start fresh. All right. So the first thing you want to do before you add documents in a loop, you want to add all the people in the transaction. So 2 people you're always going to see in the transaction is you and the admin for success. And the reason you're going to see admin is because eventually we're moving to a paperless process where you'll just submit everything right through the system. We're not doing that right now. You can still work however is best comfortable for you. But you will always see the admin in there because that's how you will give us your documents. You will see yourself in there. The first thing you're going to do is assign a role to yourself. Normally it just says role up here, and you have this list to choose from. So you're going to click on the drop down that you see here, and you're going to choose from the list. Since this is a listing loop, obviously you're the listing agent. So we're going to click listing agent. So that's you. Assign yourself a role. If it's a buying loop, you'll be a buying agent. Then you're going to add your sellers. Add person. You're going to add their name, their email address, and assign them a role. I already added one, and I'll show you what that looks like. It was a seller. So in this loop, down at the bottom, you'll see seller right there. Now, there's also this checkbox that says add to my team. So if you're working with another success agent that is in the transaction with you, they're sharing the transaction, if you add them to your team, you'll actually share the loop. So you'll both see the same loop in your accounts. So that's what that add to my team is. It's giving them access to everything that's in your loop as if it were their loop. So once you add everybody in the transaction and you assign each of them a role and a unique email address, it'll look like this. So I added my husband, and he's the seller. All right, so that's step number one. This is important both just in filling out documents and when we get more complicated, when we start sharing documents and doing digital signatures. So if you get in the habit of doing this now, it's a good thing. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add documents. So this is what it'll look like by default. I had archived that other folder. But by default, it's going to look like this. So after you add your people, you are going to add your documents. And you do this by clicking on Add From Templates, which is kind of odd, but that's what they call it. So if you do Add From Templates, you're going to see some choices. You're going to say Success Real Estate Forms, MAR Interactive Forms, and then you're going to see some packages. This is what's so great about our account. Excuse me, we're able to put some packages together so that you can just add an entire package of forms without having to sift through them all. Excuse me, hold on. Yikes. Hold, please. Going to put you on hold for 1 second. Okay. So since this is a listing package, we're going to add the listing package. You're going to click on that, and you're going to see all the listing forms, both in-house and the MAR forms that you need. So all you have to do is click Select All and add the documents to your loop or your transaction folder. All right. There we are. There they are inside your loop. So the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is just to fill out the form. And you do that by clicking on one of the form's names. I'm going to do, which one am I going to do? We'll do the seller statement. So I just clicked on the name. Okay. So it's going to prompt you to assign fields to people. It already assigned Jimmy Pierce because his role was the seller. I'm actually going to skip this part. We're going to do everything manually because we're not actually doing digital signatures. We'll get to this, though. Don't worry. So I'm going to hit skip. So the next thing you're going to do is fill everything out, all the little blue boxes. So you'll see that there's calendar fields. Slow connection. Okay. Okay, come on. All right. So you'll see that there's all these fields that need to be filled out. So just go ahead and fill them out. Type wherever you need to type. My connection's super slow. I apologize. Anywhere there's a calendar field, it'll be a calendar with a drop down. All right. Sorry about this, guys. Super slow. It'll pull in the names where it needs to pull in as long as you added those people to the transaction first. You can't see the live typing because it's such a slow connection. All right. So as an example, you're going to go through, you're going to pick your dates, fill out your text. The next thing I want you to know that's super important is it looks like the system wants you to hit this button, Save and Share, when you're done filling it out. I don't recommend doing that because you're going to edit this document more than once before you want your clients to see that. So try really hard to ignore this for now. Always hit the Save button over here. Then that way you can do all your edits and it never gets emailed to the people inside the transaction. When you hit Save and Share a million times, every time you hit Save and Share, it's going to go to your clients. And if you're editing the document, that's going to drive them nuts. They're going to get 9 emails from you. So when you first start out, make sure you're always hitting the Save button. After you've done your edits and you save it, go back up here on the left. It's still saving. I apologize. Again, it's very slow. Come on now. Okay. And it's going to say, you sure you don't want to share them? No, I don't want to share them right now. Back. Come on. No. We are having a glitch. Usually when you hit back, it brings you back to your loop. I don't know why it's not. There we go. All right. So when you hit no, normally when you have a regular internet connection, it'll bring you back to your loop. All right. So we just did the seller statement of condition. And remember, you're going to go back and forth and edit that document probably more than once. So you just click on it again if you want to open it back up and make more changes. Once you've made all your changes and you're ready to share it or email it to your clients, because again, I'm showing you how to download a PDF and email it to your clients. So you've filled out the statement of condition, all your documents as much as you want. We're just going to deal with this one right now. If you mouse over the drop-down arrow and you click on it and you hit download, it'll generate a PDF for you, and it will save it wherever your downloads are saved on your computer. All right? So whether that's your desktop or your download folder. Again, mouse over that, hit download. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now it's handled just like a regular PDF. So you can open up your email system, compose a regular email, and attach the PDF. And the PDF will have all the edits that you made, all the things that you filled out in it. And then they can sign it by hand. So those are the basics that I wanted to show you today. Setting up your account, adding the association so you have access to all the real estate forms, starting a loop or a transaction, naming it the street address and the town, adding the people from the transaction with a unique email address for each of them, assigning them roles, and then adding your documents. And you can do that by packages, so either a listing package, buyer package. I'm working on a rental package and a couple others right now. Then clicking on each document, filling it out, hitting the save button at the top left, because if you hit that save and share, it's going to email every revision that you do to those clients. Then from the list of documents, mouse over that drop down next to the document you want a PDF, click download, and then you can use it just like any other PDF and email it to whoever you want. Of course, we are going to do way more training, and we're going to add things. We are going to add sharing. We are going to add digital signatures. It's all fairly simple, but accessing the documents and filling them out inside of a loop that you created are the basics after you set up your account. So those are the things I want you guys to work on now. So that's all we went over in training today. Watch this as many times as you need to, and get in touch with me if you have any questions. Have a good day.